Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
J360 Radio.
Hello, J360 Legion, and welcome to the J360 Mini Bites here on J360 Radio, hosted by J.M. Brady. I am your host, J.M. Brady. Let's get into it. Hey, how's it going, J360 Legion? What is happening? This is J-Man, of course. Sorry I'm a little late, but I kind of had to work with a few things. Not to mention, I wanted to test something out a little. Like, this is a whole different setup than what you're used to. Usually I have my headset on, and I'm running with my tab, talking to you about things while I'm in the field. Right now, I got my tab going on, but I also took one of my mics, and I'm out in the field talking to you right now. So, how have you all been? I hope well. By the way, I kind of got my numbers mixed up for the schedule this time. This is actually episode 164. So, we climbing up that ladder, baby. Soon enough, it's going to be 200 episodes in the Mini Bites. I'm very happy about that. And speaking of which, today was kind of a day that I was looking inwards on a few things. They say everything's about perspective, like where you are and how you feel about stuff. And I was just sitting here thinking, I am getting closer to where I need to be. It's just like right off the bat, I had to really think about all the things I had to get through. In building J360 Productions, I had to fight almost every ignorant, dumb, tiresome, ridiculous person in my lifetime. Not to mention all the stuff I had to deal with as an individual, but, as I go about building this brand too, it's, it has its rewards, but there are moments where I sit back and I always think, what if things could have went a little bit differently? What if I didn't have to square off against some dumbass trying to get to where I need to be at and stuff, But you see, things are not without adversity, and every day I gotta remember my mission to do things and exactly why I want this so bad. And not to mention, the people that are around me, if anything, they're all just mirror images of, different sides of your personality, maybe. Because everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got, an asshole, too, And the thing is that, you want to live your life accordingly. You want to make things work out for you. There are some people out there that feel really stuck in stuff. And, they look at the Instagram, they look on any social media outlet, and they get this little shot of optimism to get them going. I, on the other hand, will tell you, here's the thing. Don't wait on anybody. You took the time to post that crap, now you got to eat it. Now you got to go ahead and run the race. Just like that clip of Apollo Creed telling Rocky, there's no tomorrow. Yeah, sure, a lot of y'all are into the hype, into the new things about Creed 3, and why shouldn't you be? Representation matters, right? But let me just say this, though. Way ahead of its game, Adonis's dad knew what was up. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, there is no tomorrow. Why don't we just go for this stuff today? And I mentioned and talked about a lot of people on these programs over time. And then, there's a moment where, everything's good, everything's smooth, but then they let you down. You know what I mean? You ever have that moment where people just let you down? And, instead of just looking at it saying, hey, this is just something that happened, or, hey, guess what? This is somebody's real personality coming out, so maybe I should just look at this and be like, yeah, okay, it's time to move on. But you see, nowadays, you can't just move on because you got to draw attention to it. It harkens back to a lot of these crossover episodes I've done with people and stuff. Whereas, you see, certain people who are popular and they should not be, or certain people who should be held to task for their behavior, and God knows nobody will. But you see, I'm that person that will check this person. I'm that person that will kindly tell you, you know what? Why don't you just get the hell on out of here because there's nothing here for you. Nobody around here works for you, so maybe you should just get out of here and stop causing more problems in a little bit before I leave an imprint on your face. You know what I mean? Spiritually, mentally, and physically. Of course, we'll use physically as a last resort, The best way to fight people is let your art do the talking. But, I've seen it. I've seen quite a lot of people back in the day, and I remember. They're going to fall apart anyway because of the way they treat people. And like there are times where it's like, I look at people in the Jam fam who were originally here, and when I told them off, or like did something that upset them some way, and they ended up leaving, or they got to go find themselves or whatever. It's the list goes on, but the result in the increment is still kind of the same. And that's why at best you don't wait on anybody to build your future. You don't put your future around people to build it up to it. You know what I'm saying? That's why at the same time, it's like you started this stuff on your own, and as you went about this whole thing, you met these people as you were building this thing. So every time I went about building J360 Productions, I've met multiple different individuals one way or another. Now I'm friends with some, but plenty of them, what's that whole thing? You can't make friends without making a few enemies. And even then, they're not really enemies. They're just people that, once again, ain't worth my time. Got bigger fish to fry, like publications to fact check, and not to mention, movies that need to be made. And then as I go about this whole thing, I will either be disliked for so many things that I try to do, or I'm going to be loved for so many things that I actually achieve. I achieved J360 Jams. And there are some sawed-off versions out there. There are people out there that think they can do it better, and God knows they can't. And then there are people out there also who all want to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm standing up to you. Yeah, I won. And I've never seen them. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Because here's the thing. I'm building something that could really help other people out too. While you're mad about me and I'm living in your head rent-free, this is that one moment where I actually take the time to think about those. And it's very, very rare at times. Because, everybody needs that moment where you can be introspective, you know what I mean? Like, you really think about all the times you reminisce and you start saying, like, oh, this stuff's absolutely worth it. And I think that a lot. I mean, you can look at this kind of like a man that's flexing and like saying all this stuff like he's better than us. And it's like, look, you can look at it any interpretation you want, but it's like this. Yeah, I'm going for all the things that I said I was going to go for. I hope that you're working hard every day because I'm going to be there. And if I trigger you in one way or another while doing these shows, making these movies and everything, then hey, guess what? That means you never got over me. And I sure showed you. And the truth is, it's like when people let you down, you got to really think about your friend zone, because your friend zones and your social circle and all that kind of stuff could really make you lose your faith in people. You got to give people a chance sometime, too. Like, I thought about that because there was one time I had to reschedule a project conference interview. You're not getting it this Friday. God, I don't know if you're getting it next Friday. You'll probably get it Saturday, though, because next Friday is Jam 66. See, that's why it's always important to be on your schedule. And, as much as I was thinking, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea to even do this episode. But you know what, though? I was also thinking about the big picture. Let's do this damn episode. Let's make it happen. Let's make these movies. Let's make this film. Let's do this documentary. All those kind of things. Because I always said, you know what? Even though it seemed like things are against me in terms of production and all, this can get done. And it needs to. See, the problem with bad deals are, it's like, say like if you have an interview set up, right? And that person that's supposed to be at that interview cannot make it to that interview because life happens and all, or gets lost in traffic, or hey, they just can't. Just can't. It stinks. Because, see, that was time set aside for the interview and the interviewee. If I do that kind of stuff, I don't get a free pass with it because we don't get that time. So you got to figure that there should always be like a rainy day in play. But the problem with announcing like an alternative day is people will pack up for that alternative day instead of getting to that main day. You got to get to your main. And see, me, I'm always about go, 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 get it done. Because it needs to get done. And I also know that I have quite a lot of things to do. So this can't be further into the month. See what I'm saying? You always try to aim for that main day, and you always try to get it right the first time. That way, so you don't worry about alternative safeties and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like when Batman had to climb without that safety rope in order to get out of the prison to get to Gotham in time in Dark Knight Rises. Say what you will, but it's actually a pretty good statement, you know? You gotta stop worrying about your safety net and just worry about succeeding. See, a lot of people ain't ready for that success game. I'm ready for that success game. And I'm always in the winner's circle because guess what? I was always willing to compete. People aren't willing to compete anymore. And it's just very, very sad. But everybody says, hey, you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. Yeah, you do. You got to prove things to yourself. Which I do. Like where I'm at right now, and the fact that certain people aren't here, the fact that certain people will probably go ahead and try to not put any respect on my name. I achieved a lot. Because I won out and I don't need your ass anymore. That's what that is. So you got to think about that. And when I'm gone, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I still left for Impact. You just gave up. That's why they call you a quitter. You know? At least you'll always live that day in, day out by quitting and giving up on something. Like when I lose, but I also learn something. When I win and go on to the next thing. But I'm always there as the reigning champ, though, because I want to see who's next up. You see? I think I'm going to start competing in esports, too, when I get a chance. I think at the end of the day, I think this will be the time to do all these things that, you know, at least for the experience, at least for the fun, at least for the greatness of it. Whereas other people are just well-known spectators and just love to stay in where they're at. So let them stay where they're at. I wasn't here to be safe. I was here to be the CEO and run this production company, which I'm doing right now. So that's something to really, really think about. But I can't wait on anybody to get the point, and I can't, you know, look to see if anybody's coming back after realizing they made mistakes. Because I'm always going to be moving. Which is exactly what I'm going to be working on the power play tonight. By the way, let's take a look at your schedule. Okay, so you got the mini bites happening right now. You got the J-Man show happening tomorrow. You got the official power play episode happening on Thursday. Nothing's happening on Friday or Saturday this week. You have, for Sunday, though, you have another power play episode coming up. And then that'll do it for this week's content. And I just want you all out here to take care of yourselves. And, you know, like I say, don't wait for nobody or anything. Really just keep going. You know? Whether it be like music, radio, television, anything. Because this is your time too. Make it happen, alright? This is J-Man signing off. Peace.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.